Welcome in, everybody. Another video after we catch another slip. And today we got the Rams, we got the 49ers, we got me, we got JJ, and we got another green slip coming for you guys. Make sure you watch all the way through. We're going to break everything down real quick and give you guys a parlay at the end. So make sure you stay tuned. Welcome in, everybody. JJ, how are we feeling about another green day on Monday?
I think we've been going crazy, but I think all these plays that we've been having lately, I think we're just gonna have to just keep the ball rolling.
Oh, yeah.
I think with this game right here, 49ers Rams, there's gonna be a lot of money to print here. Even though there's like nothing that's crazy that sticks out scheme wise that we'll talk about later, I think there's still some good plays that we could take advantage of here.
100%. I mean, NFL scoop-writers have been doing their thing this season. Last year, I feel like we got shit primetime game after shit primetime game. Even the first 3-4 weeks of this season, maybe even more than that, we're like, oh, Jets, Patriots, and these bum games. But man, it feels like we've just been getting great games served on platter after platter. And we got another divisional game with a Rams team that's trying to sneak into the playoffs and that nobody wants to play in the playoffs. A Niners team that, even though they've had a down season, nobody wants to play Kyle Shanahan. Divisional game, dude. We gotta love it. So we'll break everything down real quick, and we'll start off with the Rams side of things. Blake Corum has been getting a little bit of Kyren Williams' rush share, but it hasn't really been consistent. Some weeks Kyren's been getting 55% of attempts, other weeks 90%. There hasn't been as much consistency as I would have liked to predict, but Kyren Williams is still the RB1 of that backfield, and he gets a Niners matchup today that I don't think is great against the run. They're not glaringly bad, but they're not exactly a team that I think just dominates the run game either, defensively at least. So I think Kyren Williams, if he gets the volume that he should be getting as a workhorse back, I think he's in a fine spot. And as far as the Rams passing side, Puka has been absolutely crazy since he came back. I think every advanced stat, he's pretty much leading in the NFL, not just on this Rams team. And that gets even better when you look at single high coverage. The weird thing is, though, Kupp does do a little better in terms of usage against zone, which is something that the Niners do lean on a little bit more. JJ, how are you seeing things on the Rams side?
On the Rams side, I think you just probably gotta go through Puka and Cup today. I mean, 49ers are still giving up a lot of yards and targets to wide receiver ones. And I mean, right now that's looking like that's Puka. I mean, Puka
Yeah.
has been dominating. He just came off with a 160 plus yard receiving game. Even have 5 carries, got a touchdown. Like he is their guy. They want to feed him the ball, and I think there's a great spot to feed him the ball here.
Since returning, Puka's had 98, 123, 117, and 162 receiving yards. His only game with 56 snaps, that was that weird New Orleans game where I think they just dominated clock. So, yeah, I think Puka's. I'm a big Cup guy in terms of the whole Cup versus Puka narrative. Puka's taking over. He's the wide receiver one on that team. I completely agree with you. Um, but yeah, I do think the Niners pass defense is still solid enough. Their yards per attempt is low. They're not really allowing big plays. Yards after catch isn't really there. It's really just, all right, if they're not going to give up big plays in terms of yardage, but you're still going to have to throw on them, you're probably going to be getting, instead of 10 targets for 80 yards, you're probably getting 15 targets for 80 yards, which, as long as the yards are there, it doesn't really matter how many targets you get. When you're thinking of targeting yards or receptions in terms of your props, maybe that's where it gives you a sense of direction. But enough of the Rams. Nobody cares about them. San Francisco 49ers, dude, what are we doing about that backfield at this point?
I mean, I don't know. Short week. It sounds like Isaac looks like he's going to try and play. He was a limited participant yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if Debo gets a little extra carries this game, but I don't know. Just so much uncertainty. I couldn't even tell you.
Speaking of Debo, he was tweeting out that he's not struggling. He just hasn't been getting the ball. Twitter, their community notes corrected him, talking about how he's been dropping the ball. And man, his numbers are just non-existent this season. It's actually crazy. I'm trying to assume that with CMC out again, maybe they go back, but I'm not exactly planting my flag on that stance either. It's really
Yeah,
been the Juwan Jennings show.
it has, and it has been glorious.
George Kittle, though, I feel like he's been quietly, like, really good in the receiving game this year.
He has, especially had like a great start to the season. And then, I mean, lately it hasn't been talked about. I think mainly just because the offense has just, it's been kind of here or there, depending on what you're getting from it. But I mean, Trent Williams being gone has certainly like hurt that offense a little bit. And I mean, he's not going to be back today for what I'm seeing on the injury reports.
Yeah, I mean, 57 or more receiving yards in every game this season except 3. And 2 of those 3 came in the first 3 weeks. And I'm kind of surprised because it feels like every season everybody wants to hype up the Kelsey versus Kittle debate. And every time Kittle has one of those 60, 70-yard games, people talk about it for the next 2 weeks again. So for him to be doing it consistently all season, and it feels like even the debate aside, just people aren't talking about it, I feel like it's kind of surprising. And he gets a pretty positive Rams matchup. Like the Rams have, not just this season, but in prior seasons, have not been great against tight ends. So
Yeah.
if we look at recent tight ends against them, we can see Juwan Johnson, 36 yards. Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry damn near combined for 100. Jonnu Smith, 45. Even Josh Oliver put a 30 ball on him. Brock Bowers, 93 yards. Tucker Kraft, 88. So tight ends are having success against them. George Kittle has been having a pretty consistent season in the receiving game. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps doing it. Why wouldn't be surprised if he keeps doing it?
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, he always has been the better tight end of the two. So
Me too.
running and
We can make a whole other
run
video
blocking
about that
and
one.
pass blocking, like all that stuff, receiving. Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. Any dude who starts the pregame of any game just by bashing his head into a wall, I mean, he's a psychopath. I'm not messing with him.
Yeah.
Um, what else we got? But yeah, Isaac should be back, kind of like you were saying, but like I don't think he's gonna come out there and get 80% of rush attempts either. D would
No,
probably
he's
cut
gonna be
into it.
limited.
They're
Not
gonna have
especially on the short week.
Yeah, they're gonna have 2 other running backs that come in and get 5 attempts out of nowhere. So I'm not touching the Niners run game with a 10-foot pole. Just some quick notes about the run game. The Niners run outside zone. The Rams aren't bad against it, but they're not great either. They're a slightly below average team against outside runs. And then the Rams run inside zone and man gap scheme. Niners are also bang average against both of them. So there's no real edge in the rushing game, even if we knew where the rush attempts were going. I think on both sides, the edge is going to be in the receiving game. The Niners don't allow a lot of yards, but they allow a lot to the wide receiver 1 option, which in this case would be Puka. And the Niners or the Rams, sorry, will play a lot of zone. They struggle against tight ends, but Juwan Jennings has also just been on a different world right now. So I think Jennings and Kittle are your best bets on that side of the ball. And the last thing, unrelated to anything we've talked about, is the Rams are very good at getting pressure to the quarterback. Brock Purdy's rush attempts line at 4.5, I think is a good shout for the under. His scramble rate goes up when he gets pressured, and you get the kneeling upside at the end of the game as well. He's had 4 rush attempts pretty consistently this season. Giving me a team that pressures a lot, I bet you can buy 1 extra rush attempt to get us to 5. That's everything that I have. Should we get into the parlay?
Yep.
All right, so we've been going crazy on these. We're going to keep following the same method that's been working, and that's been picking a spread winner, picking a touchdown score, and picking a player prop. And today's spread winner we took was the San Francisco 49ers. We took them at -2.5. And the reason for that is because Thursday Night Football favorites, when the over-under is between 42 and 52, and they're coming off a game where they're favored in the last game, it's like a 70% win rate against the spread. And this season it's 5-2. No reason not to doubt it here. The next one is a touchdown prop, and we're going Kyren Williams to get a touchdown. The Niners are ranked one of the worst in the league in terms of percentage of touchdowns against them to be rushing touchdowns. And on top of that, they have the second worst red zone defense in the NFL, only behind the Dallas Cowboys. So it's just, if they're going to score and they're going to get a rushing touchdown, why would we not bet on Kyren Williams? And the last one is Jennings to get a 20-yard reception. He's done in every game since Brandon Ayuk has been out, and that's because he's moved more to the outside role where you have some more deeper developing routes. 20 yards should be light work for him. And to get a little extra boost on ESPN, because you have to get plus 400 odds or higher to get the boost, we took Brock Purdy to get a 25-yard reception. He said this in every game in his career except for 3. So make sure you like and follow if you're tailing that. We did do a lotto method where we took Kyron Williams to get 2 touchdowns, Jennings to get 90 receiving yards, which he's done in all but 2 games since Brandon Ayuk has been out, and the Niners to win by a touchdown. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you're tailing. Hopefully we can cash you out again. And we'll see you guys in the next show. Appreciate all the love and support. We'll see you on the next show.